Hello, dear children. Today, let us study the sixth chapter of Geography. The name of the chapter is Human Resources. People are a nation's greatest resource. Nature's bounty becomes significant only when people find it useful. It is people with their demands and abilities that turn them into resources. Hence, human resource is the ultimate resource. Healthy, educated, and motivated people develop resources as per their requirements. Here you see how people they become a resource. People are a nation's greatest resource. Nature's gift becomes significant only when people find it useful. When people they find it in useful way. It is people with their demands and abilities that turn them into resources. So people they are responsible and their demands, by the way, their abilities is to turn them into resources. They is to bring them in different uses. Hence, human resource is the ultimate resource. In this way, human resource becomes ultimate resource. Healthy, educated, and motivated people develop resources as per their requirements. Healthy, educated, and motivated. Motivated means provide someone with a reason for doing something. People develop resources as per their requirements. As their requirements, they develop these resources. Children, we know doctor treat a sick person. A teacher used to impart knowledge to young children. Thus, teacher, doctor, they become resource persons. Likewise, many others are there. How they become a resource person. Human resources, like other resources, are not equally distributed over the world. Like other resources, human resources also not equally distributed over the world. They differ in their educational levels, age, and sex. Their numbers and characteristics also keep changing. Human resources, you see here, they differ in their educational levels according to their age or male or female sex, like that. Their numbers and characteristics also keep changing. Numbers and characteristics also keeps on change always. Boys, to left margin of this page, do you know that means two times it has written. You must get through this and you just keep it in your mind. It may helpful at any time. Distribution of population. Population means the number of people. You see, the way in which people are spread across the earth's surface is known as the pattern of population distribution. The way that means in which we all the people is spread across the earth's surface is known as the pattern of population distribution. More than 90% of world's population lives in about 30% of the land surface. The distribution of population in the world is extremely uneven. Distribution of population in the entire world is extremely uneven. It is not level, not same. Some areas are very crowded and some are sparsely populated. Some areas are there you will find a great number of people they used to settle or live, and some you will find where less population is there. The crowded areas are South and Southeast Asia, Europe, and Northeastern North America. So these are the regions where number of people are living more. Very few people live in high latitude areas, tropical deserts, high mountains, and areas of equatorial forests. So very few people they used to live in high latitude areas, tropical deserts, high mountains, and areas of equatorial forest. Reasons behind it, why that means our population is very less there. You have got that in your earlier chapters. So modern amenities is not available there, transport communication facilities is not available there, lack of water, whatever required, okay, for that means for our survival, they are not available there. That's why that regions are having very less number of people. Many more people live north of the equator than south of the equator. Almost three-quarters of the world's people live in two continents. They are in Asia and Africa. Almost three quarters, boys, you see, of the world's people, they used to live in the continents Asia and Africa. Asia and Africa in these countries, and that means continent, the Asia continent or Africa continent, maximum people they are living because modern amenities are available here. 60% of the world's people stay in just 10 countries. 60% of the world's people they used to live in just 10 countries. All of them have more than 100 million people. These are the distribution of, see, it has given, have a look, world population by continents. Under that, activity one activity has given, boys. See, of every 100 people in the world, this pictographs it shows here according to the color you see live in Asia. So the color you can see out of 100 how many people they are living in Asia, number of people you can count. Then live in Europe, likewise live in Africa, in the same way live in Central and South America, live in Northern America, live in Oceania, Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Island. Here is under in the activity it has given, you see, study figure 6.1 and find out of the world's total population which continent has only 5%. 5% live in Northern America, okay. Then only 30%, only 13% live in Africa. Then only 1% live in Oceania, Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Island. Only 12% live in Europe. So here that means it has given. Then by the way, you see countries, world's most populous countries. Here it shows here by bar diagram, boys. Let us see the next page. Density of population. Density of population means quantity of population, you see. Population density is the number of people living in a unit area of the earth's surface. It indicates what? Number of people living in a unit area of the earth's surface. It is normally expressed as per square kilometer. The average density of population in the whole world is 51 persons per square kilometer. Just underline this. Average density of population in the whole world is 51 persons per square kilometer. South Central Asia has the highest density of population. South Central Asia, it has the highest density of population, followed by East and Southeast Asia. After South Central Asia, we find East and Southeast Asia where density is more, but the topmost level is there. That means it goes by the South Central Asia. Do you know average density of population in India is 382 persons per square kilometer? You learn this one also and keep it in your mind, boys. Now let us see factors affecting distribution of population. Why? That means population, it is not alike in each and every part of the world. There are some factors which affect the distribution of population. Let us see what are those factors. Geographical factors. Topography. Topography means the arrangement of natural and artificial physical features of an area. People always prefer to live on plains rather than mountains and plateaus because these areas are suitable for farming, manufacturing, and service activities. People generally they like what? They like, that means to live on the plains rather than mountains and plateaus. In place of living in mountains and plateaus, they like to live in plains. Why they like to live on plains? Because plains areas are suitable for farming, manufacturing, and service activities. The Ganga plains are the most densely populated areas of the world, while mountains like Andes, Alps, and Himalayas are sparsely populated. Ganga plains it is its soil also very fertile, boys. So Ganga plains are the most densely populated area, where that means many people used to live. Population is very much there. While mountains like Andes, Alps, and Himalayas are sparsely populated, there are very less number of people they are living. Regions I have already cleared you earlier. Climate. This is another factor for affecting distribution of population. Topography you have learned. Now climate. People usually avoid extreme climates. Extreme climates means too much hot or too much cold. That are very hot or very cold, like Sahara Desert, polar regions of Russia, Canada, and Antarctica. People they avoid, they do not like to live in those type of climates where the climates are extreme, very hot or very cold like that. Soil. Fertile soils provide suitable land for agriculture. Fertile plains such as Ganga and Brahmaputra in India, Huangho, Changjiang in China and the Nile in Egypt are densely populated. So, soil also depend for dense population. People, if they live in the fertile soil, they can grow crops in huge quantity because fertile soil is suitable for agriculture. Fertile plains such as Ganga and Brahmaputra in India, Wanghe, Changjiang in China, and the Nile in Egypt are densely populated because of soil fertility. Those areas are having great number of population. Another factor, let us see water. People prefer to live in the areas where fresh water is easily available. The river valleys of the world are densely populated while deserts have sparse population. People they like what? To live in the areas where fresh water is easily available. The river valleys of the world are densely populated. Yes, mankind, we cannot survive without water. So we choose most probably these river valleys of our for our settlement. The river valleys of the world are densely populated while deserts have sparse population. Desert regions, it has very less population. Then another factor is here minerals. Areas with mineral deposits are more populated. Those areas which have more mineral deposits. That area also have more number of people. Diamond mines of South Africa and discovery of oil in the Middle East lead to settling of people in these areas. In order to extract mineral, people used to settle there. Social, cultural, and economic factors. Social areas of better housing, education, and health facilities are more densely populated. For example, Pune. Those areas which have better housing, better education, and health facilities, they are more densely populated. As example, Pune. Cultural. Places with religion or cultural significance attract people. Varanasi, Jerusalem, and Vatican City are some examples. Economic. Industrial areas provide employment opportunities. This one is also very important to earn our livelihood. So, industrial areas provide employment opportunities to the people. Large number of people are attracted to these areas, and that's why large number of people are attracted to this area. They like to settle in those areas. Osaka in Japan and Mumbai in India are two densely populated areas. So these are the two densely populated areas. Population change. The population change refers to change in the number of people during a specific time. The world population has not been stable. It has increased manifold as seen in the figure 6.3y. Population change, how population change it took place. See, it take place. Let us see. The population change refers. It means what? Population change. It refers. It indicates to change in the number of people during a specific time, during a particular time, the world population has not been stable. Population, it has not been remained as it is. It has increased manifold as seen in the figure 6.3. So population increased many and various as seen in the figure 6.3. This is actually due to changes in the number of births and deaths. Actually, it is because of changes in the number of birth means here born, number of babies born more, or deaths. It depends on that. For an extremely long period of human history until the 1080s or 1800s, the world's population grew steadily but slowly. Large numbers of babies were born, but they died early too. This was as there were no proper health facilities. Sufficient food was not available for all the people. Farmers were not able to produce enough to meet the food requirements of all the people. As a result, the total increase in population was very low. See here, a problem. Why that means for an extremely long period of human history until the 1800s, the world's population grew steadily. Steadily means in a regular and even manner, but slowly. Large number of babies were born, but they died early too. See the regions as given here. This was as there were no proper health facilities during those days. There were no proper health facilities in order to save these children or babies. Sufficient food was not available for all the people. Apart from that, sufficient food, it was not available for all the people. Farmers were not able to produce enough food in order to fulfill the food requirements of all the people. As a result, the total increase in population was very low, and that is why increasing of number of people, it was very low at that time. In 1804, the world's population reached 1 billion. 155 years later, in 1959, the world's population reached 3 billion. This is often called population explosion. In 1999, 40 years later, the population doubled to 6 billion. See how it increased and why it was happened. So, the main reason for this growth was that with better food supplies and medicine, deaths were reducing while the number of births still remained fairly high. So, reason is there. Uh, Good facilities of medicine and proper food supplies also there, and that's why death were reducing while the number of births still remain to a moderately high. Births are usually measured using the birth rate, that is the number of live births per thousand people. Deaths are usually measured using the death rate, that is the number of deaths per thousand people. Migration is the movement of people in and out of an area. Migration means the movement of people in and out of an area. Underline this one also. What is migration? Births and deaths are the natural causes of population change. Births and deaths, these are the natural causes of population change. The difference between the birth rate and the death rate of a country is called the natural growth rate. Okay, difference between birth rate and death rate. After subtracting these two, we used to get natural growth rate. The population increase in the world is mainly due to rapid increase in natural growth rate. Population increase, it is because of the world is mainly due to rapid increase in natural growth rate. World population growth, have a look here of several years it has given. Migration is another way by which population size changes. Migration, it is another way by which population size of population it changes. People may move within a country or between countries. Immigrants are people who leave a country. Immigrants, what is immigrants? Mark this one also. Immigrants, they are those people who leave a country and begin to settle in another country. Immigrants are those who arrive in a country. Immigrants is spelling immigrants. These are those who arrive in a country. Countries like the United States of America and Australia have gained in numbers by in-migration or immigration. Sudan is an example of a country that has experienced a loss in population numbers due to out-migration or immigration. The general trend of international migration is from the less developed nations to the more developed nations in search of better employment opportunities. The general direction of international migration is from the less developed nations, to the more developed nations as they uh, used to go in search of better employment opportunities. Within countries, large number of people may move from the rural to urban areas in search of employment, education, and health facilities. Within countries, you see, even in our Manipur also, we can find large number of people. They used to move from rural to urban areas. It is because of searching employment, getting good education, and proper health facilities. So they used to change their own residence from rural to city. Patterns of population change. Rates of population growth vary across the world. Although the world's total population is rising rapidly, not all countries are experiencing this growth. Although that means in the world, total population is rising rapidly, not all the countries are experiencing this growth. Some countries like Kenya have high population growth rates. They had both high birth rates and death rates. Now, with improving healthcare, death rates have fallen, but birth rates still remain high, leading to high growth rates. Now, with proper facilities of health care, Even our WHO also used to take good care for the people of whole world. So what happened? Death rates have fallen, but birth rates still remain high, leading to high growth rates. In other countries like United Kingdom, population growth is slowing because of both low death and low birth rates. See, in UK, population growth it is slowing. Okay, it is because of both low death and low birth rates. Come and underline this. The last sentence also. What is the region there? That region you must know. Now, population composition. Population, description of population. Let us see here. How crowded a country is has little to do with its level of economic development. For example, both Bangladesh and Japan are very densely populated, but Japan is far more economically developed than Bangladesh. To understand the role of people as a resource, we need to know more about their qualities. In order to understand the role of the people as a resource, here we need to know more about what sort of qualities they have. People vary greatly in their age, sex, literacy level, health condition, occupation, and income level. It is essential to understand these characteristics of the people. Population composition refers to the structure of the population. Population composition it denotes to the structure of the population. The composition of population helps us to know how many are males or females, which age group they belong to, how educated they are, and what type of occupations they are employed in, what their income levels and death conditions are. Children, the composition of population it helps us in order to know how many male or female, which age group they belong to, and how educated they are, and what type of occupations they are doing, what their income levels and death conditions are. An interesting way of studying the population composition of a country is by looking at the population pyramid. So, an interesting way is here of studying the population composition of a country. It is by looking at the population pyramid. It is also called an S-sex pyramid. A population pyramid shows pyramid means monumental structure with a triangle base. Here is under that means it has given you can see here the total population divided into various age groups. For example, 5 to 9 years, 10 to 14 years. The percentage of the total population subdivided into males and females in each of those groups. This population pyramid you can see here, boys. The shape of the population pyramid tells the story of the people living in that particular country. Here, the shape of this population pyramid it tells us the story of the people, those who are living in that specific country. The numbers of children below 15 years are shown at the bottom and reflect the level of births. The size of the top shows the numbers of aged people, that is above 65 years, and reflects the number of deaths. The population pyramid also tells us how many dependents there are in a country, There are two groups of dependents: young dependents, that is aged below 15 years, and elderly dependents, aged over 65 years. They are dependent on others. Those of the working age are the economically active. The population pyramid of a country in which birth and death rates both are high is broad at the base and rapidly narrows towards the top. This pyramid, that means it shows us the thing. This is because although many children are born, a large percentage of them die in their infancy when they are very young. Relatively, few become adults and there are very few old people. This situation is typified by the pyramid shown for Kenya in figure 6.7. In countries where death rates, especially amongst the very young, are decreasing, the pyramid is broad in the younger age groups because more infants survive to adulthood. So this pyramid shows us the thing. This can be seen in the pyramid of for India, figure 6.8. Here you can see that, you can know it. Such population contain a relatively large number of young people and which means a strong and expanding labor force. Expanding means here make larger or extensive labor force here. In countries like Japan, low birth rates make the pyramid narrow at the base. Decreased death rates allow numbers of people to reach old age. Skilled, spirited, spirited means full of energy, and hopeful young people endowed. Endowed means provide with quality, ability or asset. With a positive outlook are the future of the nation. We in India are fortunate, we are lucky to have such a resource. They must be educated and provided skills and opportunities to become able and productive. So they must, those people of India, they must be educated and they should be provided with skills and opportunities to become capable or able and productive in the future. So here is the end of the chapter. Thank you all.